Hi everyone, this is Heba from My Little Journal, and Happy New Year's. I can't believe it's 2020, you guys, but I am still working in my 2019 Project Life album, and I'm going to be documenting week 43 in my 2019 album. This week was jam-packed with so many things to document, so I'm going to end up with 3 layouts for 1 week. I'm going to start with this spread where I'm documenting my daughter turning 15. I can't believe it. And I'm going to be using, for my 3 spreads, my new Studio Calico High 5 kit. This kit released today, which is January 1st, 2020. And I'm going to be using the kit to document my 3 spreads. I'm going to start by going through my embellishments and stamping. I created this 6x8 photo of my daughter blowing out her candles using my selfie printer. I do have a tutorial in my playlist. It's under tutorials where I share how you can do a 6x8 print through your selfie printer. And it's really simple. I definitely recommend you check it out. Now, I went ahead and stamped Magical Memories on a piece of vellum. I'm going to take it to my die cut and cut it out into a circle. I'll also trim off the bottom part. I really didn't need it. And I'm going to throw it through my Xyron machine and create a little sticker for myself and add it to my photo. Now, this documenter kit came with these beautiful chipboards. They are perfect to add color to your cards and photos. So what I'm going to end up doing is grabbing my chipboard sheet and adding one of these large banners, or it was one large banner that says "Trust the Magic of New Beginnings," to this collage of my daughter and niece. My niece adores my daughter, and I just love how this collage turned out. Just didn't want to add too much, so just adding the little banner on the bottom worked perfectly. Now I have this photo of my daughter with my parents, and I remembered when I looked through the cards that there was this kind of retro looking card. I thought it would look cool if I backed up my photo on that card. So what I decided to do was trim out my photos. I do this a lot in my traveler's notebook, not much in my project life, but after doing it here, I think I need to be doing it more often. I'm going to trim it out, stick it to my 4x6 card, and then I'm going to grab the stamp set from the kit and stamp different words around my parents and daughter. And I just wanted it to look more retro, I guess. And this was a great way to add color because I had a lot of black and white photos on my spread. I just really wanted to add some type of color, and this worked out really, really well. Now, I did want to mention that I don't mind trimming out my photos. It's not a big deal. We all have loads of photos, digital photos on our phones and computers and all that good stuff. So really, this is not a big deal if you trim out your photo. If you want a full 4x6, you can print it again and hand it over to a family member or your parents or whatever the case is. But I really think it's fun to be creative in your project life and your traveler's notebook and just have fun. It's not a big deal. It's okay if you trim out a few photos here and there. As you can see, I am just using that stamp set that came in the kit. There was words like totally fun, everyday moments, my fave, things like that, and a few stars here and there. So I tried to kind of play around with it a little bit and just add a few here and there. This kit came with some green alphas. They're kind of actually teal, but they just didn't match my spread. So what I decided to do was ink them up in black ink and turn them into black alpha stickers. This is really easy to do. At first I started with my Studio Calico inks, but they weren't juicy enough. And my Mommy Lay ink pads are really juicy, so I went back and grabbed those. And I put them aside to dry, and I totally forgot about them, you guys. I ended up, I think, finishing my spreads and then saw them on the side. But you will see how it looks in the pictures at the end of this video. I'm working on my title card. Another thing that I forgot to do was add my week. It's so funny. I knew I wanted to add week 43 right next to the yay, 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 but I totally forgot again. But again, you'll get to see them in the photos at the end of the video. And I just added that little chipboard in the center just to bring in my photo and my card together. I took this 3x4 card to my typewriter, added my journaling, stamping everyday moments. I also added a yellow chipboard, And I believe I grabbed those chipboards again and add one to the bottom just to kind of balance everything out. I wanted to add a little bit of journaling to this photo of my daughter and her best friend. So I went through the cards. I really like this yellow one and just had daily highlight. I feel like cards like that need to be trimmed out. I don't know if I would have used the whole 3x4 card for a pocket, but trimming it out and adding journaling or whatever the case is works out perfectly. And I did another boo-boo here. I shouldn't have trimmed it out before I put it through my typewriter, so I end up having to stick it on some white cardstock, put it through my typewriter, and typing out my journaling. So definitely add your journaling before you trim out your little label. I'm going to end up adding it to my photo, stapling it down, and I believe I call this side of my spread done. Or actually, I go back to my chipboards and add a little pink heart right above magical moments on my photo, just to bring in some pink, and then I call my first spread done. And now I'm going to start working on my second spread, and this spread is all about the marching band's last competition. It was a big one. It was really important, so I had loads of photos, and they were busy photos. So when I started looking through my cards, it took me longer to figure out what I wanted to use. Just because my photos were so busy, I really wanted to make sure I used some white 3x4 cards. I always feel like white kind of mutes down the busyness of the photos, and it helps everything kind of, I don't know, balance out nicely. So really, it took me longer just because I was trying to find those white cards that I can kind of mute everything down. Now that I have my cards chosen, I'm going to put my layout aside and start working on my first photo. This pocket is a 4x6, but I have a 3x4 photo. So I'm going to end up adding a 3x4 card, adding them together with some washi tape, add a little chipboard. I'll also grab the red label stickers from the kit to add, I think I added Best Dancer or Dancing Queen, because I always call my son Dancing Queen. He is the best dancer, I'm telling you, and he makes me crack up every single time. But anyways, I'm going to end up doing that, and then I'm going to move on to my next photo where I'm documenting their competition. It was just so windy. The weather was so scary, and actually 3 of 5 props fell, and thank God nobody got hurt. It wasn't that, like the kids were back and forth, so it didn't hit anybody. But I wanted to add that to my layout, so I journaled about it, added a little chipboard that says a little adventure, and called it done. I'm also adding a little circle chipboard to my 3x4 camera card, and I'm going to end up having a flip pocket in my layout because I had a lot of photos. Now, when I create flip pockets, I always add a card with journaling. So I took it to my typewriter, added my journaling. I'm going to use my washi to stick those 2 photos together and my card. And I believe when I'm done with my spread, I'm going to share with you my new favorite labels, because I like to add a little kind of label to my pocket to remind me that there's a pocket there. And I've discovered these new ones that I'm really, really enjoying, and they're so much cheaper than the ones I used to buy. So I'll definitely be sharing that once I'm done. I'm also adding a geotag right above where my son is standing in this 4x6 photo, because you can't really tell where he's at. I will stamp magical memories on this gorgeous photo of the kids' last rehearsal. Love how this photo turned out, you guys. The sky was gorgeous, and I was trying to capture it. No filters, nothing. It just turned out great. So I stamped that out. I'll also add a chipboard that says loved this day and called that one done. Their last rehearsal, they had like a send-off party. It was awesome. And I created that little poster, that photo. You can see that one right next to, or right above that photo I was working on. And I just created that poster for my son's section. I think it turned out pretty cool. And I tried to kind of stick to the show theme. I added some journaling to the 3x4 card, stamped out awesome, called my spread done. And I believe this is where I'm sharing these little labels for you guys. I end up adding a word sticker. That's what I usually do. And all you have to do is just stick it down to your photo or your flip pocket, and it's perfect. I'm going to link them in the description box for you guys. I do trim off some of the sticky part because it's really big, but it's no big deal. It works out really well. And you can see here, I got myself a flip pocket with a little label, and I'm good to go. Moving on to my third and last spread for this week, I'm documenting some good moments, some bad moments. My aunt was visiting from overseas. My father had surgery, so there was like some ups and downs. I'm going to go through my cards, try to choose cards to balance out my photos or the busyness of my photos. And I will end up, I think, trimming down a couple of my photos to back them up with cards. I love doing that to use up more of my cards. It's a great way if you have loads of cards and don't know what to do with them, back up your photos with them. I'm going to start working on this first photo where my father had surgery. It never gets easier. He's had a couple in the past few years, but it's still hard. I just added some journaling. I added chipboard above that and called it done. Now my son got his first acceptance letter from a university, which is pretty awesome and pretty cool. Some scholarships and all that good stuff, so we were really excited. I added my journaling to the bottom, and something went wrong with my typewriter, so I got it all over my card. And I love this eraser. I use it all the time. I'm going to link it in the description box. It's great if you get some ink on your cards, or even like what I just did, messed up with your typewriter, and takes everything off. But anyways, I trimmed down my photo, added it to my card, and I'm grabbing a little circle chipboard to add right up between my photo and journaling. I'm going to do the same with this 3x4 photo of my sister and I with my aunt and cousin. I trimmed it down because I'm going to back it up to this 3x4 card that says hooray for today. I'm also going to grab one of the circle chipboards. I thought it would be good to kind of repeat myself a little bit with my stickers or my embellishments. I usually don't do that, but I thought because it was so busy, it was a great way to kind of make this more cohesive. And when I came to stick it down, I thought maybe I should back it up with one of these circle stickers from the kit and add more color, and it was a great idea. I loved it so much. I actually go back to that 3x4 card of my son holding up his acceptance letter, and I'm going to do the same thing. Now, when I took off the chipboard, it did remove the sticky part, but that's not a big deal. I'll just use my tape runner and stick it down. I love the idea so much that I'm going to do it again to my title card. Just going to end up doing the sticker circle and then the chipboard right above it, right above my Let the Adventures Begin. And then I'm going to start working on my 3x4 card. Now, I had some problems here where I was still not happy with the cards I chose. So I end up going back into my kit, and I like this one. It's simple and I have space to journal. So I'm going to make it my own. I'm going to end up stamping everyday moments and a little arrow, then take this to my typewriter, add my journaling. That way I was able to bring in more white to mute down all the busyness of my spread. And I don't know, I didn't like the other ones. The pinks were just off for me. So this worked out really well. Now I took a photo of one of our amazing, very yummy Arabic dishes. It's just stuffed squash, and it's really, really good. So I wanted to add yum. When I did that, I just felt like it didn't look that great and it needed something. So I grabbed the tickets and the labels that came in the kit, tried to find something that would match, and I actually found a little ticket that worked well, or a tag that worked well on that other photo, so I ended up adding it there. I found a white one that would help that yum stand out, so I end up moving the yum to my little tag and adding the whole tag to my 4x6 card. I'll also do the same to the other tag that I ended up adding to this other photo of my aunt, my mom and sister and I. And I'm just going to add some twine, and I believe I call it done for all three spreads. It did not take me long because I kept it simple and I stuck to a kit. I always recommend it when you have loads to document. Stick to a kit. It makes the process go by very, very quickly. But anyways, you guys, don't forget today is release day at Studio Calico. I'm going to add all the links down in the description box for you. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. And I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.